Sup fam. So today I'll be doing a reaction video to the Chris Watts murder of his wife and his kids. This was I put a post in my community section and I want people to give me stuff to react to. So I chose this one. I kind of have an interest in things like this. This is a sort of similar situation to the Chris Benoit murder suicide of his family that was like 15 years ago now, and I took a lot of interest into that, and I like the psychology and the motivations and the reasoning behind these things. So yeah, so let's go. I gotta get comfy. Let's move my camera a little bit. Move it down a little bit. There you go. All right, let's go. Let's go. Move over a little bit. There you go. Okay, I hope this plays right. No, play.
That a woman and two kids are just completely gone off the face of the earth.
On Prime Crime.
A woman and two kids are just completely gone off the face of the earth.
A family disappears and attention shifts to one man.
I want her back so bad. I want those kids back so bad.
No.
Yet will the truth ever be known?
Every time I see pictures of them, I don't know how it's going to happen.
I'm Jesse Weber, and welcome to Prime Bullshit. In the early morning hours of August 13th, 2018, a 34-year-old woman...
Hold on. Is that the wife? Is it?
In the early morning hours of August 13th, 2018, a 30...
I remember all the pics of the wife, and like she was always like skinny and kind of like this like buggy-looking Slav girl. She's looking kind of rotund here. I mean, maybe not like full fat, but yeah.
In the early morning hours of August 13th, 2018, a 34-year-old woman named Shanann Watts returns back to her Colorado home after a business trip. Later that day, Shanann and her two girls, 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste, would be reported missing.
In this case, it was a friend that reported Shanann missing, her friend Nicole. Start to look at the house. Was there any evidence of foul play? Did she take a suitcase with her? Was her vehicle left behind? And start putting the pieces of the puzzle together.
Shanann was married to 33-year-old Chris Watts. At the time,
let's just do a quick little looks comparison here. Now, is this dude Chad? I don't know. Like, I mean, there's other pictures of him, and like, he definitely has like the Chad facial bone structure, like perfect teeth. But he is like, you can't really see here, but he is balding. He was like 33 years old when he did this, so he was balding at a pretty early rate. And he was graying really early. Although I know women are kind of into that. Is he Chad? He's close. I would definitely say like he's above the. He's in that like 7 range where I think a lot of women would want to fuck him. And her, I don't know. I'm gonna be biased here because like she looks Slav. She might be Polak. I don't know. I don't find her attractive at all. I mean, objectively, I'd say she's maybe like a 5 at best. So I think he sufficiently looks Mogser, but I might be biased on that. Okay, carry on.
Shanann was married to 33-year-old Chris Watts.
And plus, if she's getting fat, like it's not even close then. Like he mogs the shit out of her then.
At the time of her disappearance, the family of 4 was about to get a bit bigger.
We did it again. There's a sense the pink is going to be girls.
I don't know.
You can tell he's not happy about it. You can tell he's not happy about having another kid with her. That's a fake smile there.
Just a test.
That's awesome.
Chris and Shanann had what would be considered a picture-perfect marriage. They had a beautiful home. They both had striving careers. They had children, a baby that was on the way.
Yeah. I'd say he's a solid 2 points above her. Yeah. Yeah, when he was younger, he was definitely, I would say he was in the Chad range, yeah.
We would learn, though, that Shanann and Chris's marriage was on the rocks.
We do know that there was some strain in their marriage There were some issues with his parents and how they felt about Shanann. And Shanann had expressed in some text messages.
What was that? A Jew? So her name was, what was her name?
There were some issues with his parents
Coolman,
and how they felt about
Stacy
Shanann. And
psychologist.
Shanann had expressed in some text messages to a friend that she felt that his parents were getting in the way.
You start looking at text conversations and seeing that she was dominant. Chris was an introvert, Shanann was an extrovert. Shanann wore the pants in the relationship, and Chris was very passive, didn't like any of the public.
That's interesting. I wasn't expecting useful information like that. Yeah, this goes along with like all the like the demographic studies I've been doing, where it's like every couple I see out there, like the women are like loud and boisterous and dominant, and the men just look like they want to die and they wish they weren't there. Yeah, even in this relationship where the guy mugs the shit out of her, it's like that.
Like attention.
Chris tells police that when he...
And what was that? What? I need to feel wanted and all that goes with it. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Interesting. Was he cheating on her or something?
Chris tells police that when he returned from work, Shanann and the girls were gone. It's at this point when Chris's behavior...
Because, like, I would think with this relationship, like, this would be one where she would be wanting to please Chatty here as much as
comes
possible.
into question.
I have no idea like where they went. And it's just earth-shattering. I don't feel like this is even real right now. It's like a nightmare that I just can't wake up from.
His behavior during the porch interview was really interesting. He vacillates from being really calm verbally to being really fidgety and kind of rocking back and forth. That rocking shows the uneasiness.
Bella was going to start kindergarten.
He talks in the past tense about one of his daughters. The way that he talks about his children is as if he's grieving them.
It's like, I want her back so bad. I want those kids back so bad.
Yeah, he's lying. We know.
He kept repeating, I just want them back, I just want them back. And there was no real plea for their safety. You know, what happened to them? There were no tears. There was no emotion. He came off very cool.
Things get really strange, though, when police arrive. Watts' neighbor shows the officer and Chris himself what his security camera picked up in the early morning hours of the disappearance. The footage never shows Shanann leaving with the girls. Instead, it reveals Chris backing up his truck into the garage and loading it before eventually driving away.
Loading my stuff up in my coolers, my water jugs, my book bag, my computers, some of the tools that I had in the toolbox. I knew I was going to have to do some pumping into rubbers today. That's why I was out so far.
Immediately, he started offering reasons as to what he was putting in the vehicle, and he was kind of hyper about that.
It'd be easier to lug everything out there, all the tools that I had to bring in.
He's kind of rocking back and forth. He's fidgety. His hands are behind his head.
Yeah, he's lying. We know.
These are obvious signs of discomfort.
What else can I do with this?
A person who just lost their wife and children and do not know where they are would be sitting watching that footage with their, I see my wife and children.
Listen to what that neighbor had to say.
Yeah, he's lying, we know. Yeah, we know he's lying.
He never talks, so the fact...
Secret from everyone. Something that would add a new layer to this mystery.
We're not here to play games. We're not here to do any of that with you.
Okay.
She's pregnant as well.
How far along?
14, 15 weeks.
It's August 2018, and law enforcement are searching for Shanann Watts and her two daughters, 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste. The investigation is now focused on Chris Watts, Shanann's husband and the father of the girls. Chris's odd behavior both during media interviews and while watching surveillance footage of himself suspiciously loading his truck on the day of the disappearance makes some wonder, is he hiding something? At one point, Chris is brought in to speak with investigators. While continually denying having any knowledge of what happened, he does admit
No.
the results of that polygraph were not what Watts wanted to hear.
See, like, is a guy like this Chad? Like, I don't know. Like, is that like Is that like? Well, man, you can't really see on the screen there, but like is half his hair is like bald and gray. It's like I don't know. I'm torn if he's Chad or not.
No.
The results of that polygraph were not what Watts wanted to hear.
So, it is completely clear that you were not honest during the testing, and I think you already know that. He did not pass the polygraph.
I didn't.
Illogically with him as he was answering these
don't care
questions.
about
He's
her.
not a good liar.
Gridley
lying.
reveals.
But okay, we know he's lying. I mean, okay, what is this? Is this like porn for herbristophiliac women?
Oh my God, Chad's lying. I want him to come in my pussy, and he can murder my babies. Oh please, Chad, kill me and my babies.
There's women who seriously think that. I guarantee you that this dude has like a fan club of women that want to fuck his brains out. He's probably getting love letters like right now with women sending him nudes and like begging to fuck.
You weren't here today.
Seriously, I'm like 100% certain that's happening.
I cheated on her.
Oh, you
Thank
cheated on her.
you
Interesting.
so much for coming out here with me, Christopher. I am having a wonderful time. You mean a lot to me.
Is that
The
girl
month
you
prior to
cheated on her with?
Shanann and the girls vanishing, Chris began a secret affair with Nicole Kessinger.
Ah, she's a cutie. Yeah, she's a cutie.
A woman he met through work.
The affair between Chris Watts and Nikki Kessinger was very
Yeah, I like girls like that. Pale brunette, let's go. But I do not defend his actions whatsoever. I seriously believe that if you cheat on your wife, like if you cheat on your spouse, man or woman, I believe that's worthy of the death penalty. If you cheat, you should be murdered. And especially since like he with the murders, like the murders he done with his wife and kids, like he should absolutely get the death penalty. Like his wife's family should have the right to like just like devour him and kill him any way they want. But
quick.
we live in clown world.
He ended up
we
being
don't actually
kind of like a
hold people
lovesick
responsible
puppy.
for their crimes.
They had a highly sexual relationship, and it was all
Highly
consuming
sexual
for Chris.
relationship, well, duh.
She accused me of it. I denied it. I cheated on her, and I feel horrible for it. Like, she was pregnant, and
She was fat, and you didn't want to fuck her.
I mean, that's God's honest truth.
Despite Chris coming clean on the affair, Agents Coder and Lee still don't have an answer as to the whereabouts of Shanann and the girls, and they believe Chris knows more than he's saying.
How is it possible that a woman and two kids are
Police were your friend. They came off very soft. They start off
confused as to why?
the police and investigator want to cut it off right away.
See if you're your baby girl over them.
No.
Yeah, no, that's weird. Is that weird?
Sorry, I don't give a fuck about
Chris, did
kids.
Shanann do something to them?
No, I don't know.
I'm curious.
I have no clue.
And it's that line of questioning that leads into the next stage of this interview. When we return, Chris's father speaks with his son, and the truth finally begins.
Okay.
Your wife and your daughters. I was.
That's not how
He has no idea what happened to his missing wife Shanann and his two daughters for
See, she's skinny there. She put on a lot of weight, and that's why he killed her. That happens when you get fat women, you're gonna get murdered.
3-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste, who disappeared 2 days earlier. In fact, at the time, Shanann was pregnant with the couple's son, Nico.
Yeah, we know.
Test and admitters, Chris's father, Ronnie, is brought in to speak with his son.
Anything else you want to tell me? What's going on? Or what happened or anything? If you know anything about
When we had that conversation that morning, it was emotional. It was told her about separation and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think bringing his father in to talk to him was extremely smart on the investigator's part. They were right there at the edge. Now you want to offer that person a sense of comfort.
I want to protect her.
You don't want to protect her?
Huh?
She hurt him?
Yeah.
Chris shocks his father by claiming that after getting into an emotional fight with Shanann, she murdered their children.
You want? She smelled it. Or choking.
I didn't hear anything. When I was downstairs, I came back up and they were gone.
Yeah, he's lying. He wants to get away with it.
Talking to her about separation.
Her in a fit of rage.
Those are my kids.
Chris explains that after killing Shanann, he then decided to transport
He
the
doesn't
bodies
care
to a
about
site near his
fat wife and
workplace,
his kids.
where he
One fuck
proceeded
tight
to
young
bury
pussy.
Shanann in a grave and disposed of his daughters in oil tanks.
I didn't know what else to do.
I know, it's just the kids. I know.
I didn't know what else to do. I was so scared.
I know.
We hear of moms that kill their kids. Usually what precipitates that is some kind of psychotic break, some extreme substance use, or postpartum. And none of these are the case with Shanann. This story is not believable at all. It's really convenient for him. Most people kill their spouse.
Some of it's hard to believe that your wife did it. I know, right? You can imagine that. I know. Okay.
The bodies of Shanann, Bella, and Celeste would be found by law enforcement at the worksite.
Chris Watts stuffed his girls in these oil drums that were, so horrific to their own family, because you have to see.
He would be charged with murdering all 3 members of his family. Instead of fighting the case, Chris pleaded guilty to all charges. As part of that plea deal, the government agreed to take the death penalty off the table.
Being in front of people, having cameras, and rehashing his bad deeds, I think he wanted to save face and just have it go away as quickly as possible.
But God only knows what happened that night.
Well, let's see. He avoided the death penalty, and now he probably has a lot of women that are obsessed with him and love him. Yeah, I mean, you should have killed the fucker. Okay, so her last name was Ruchek. Yeah, so she was a dumb Polak. Yeah. This guy should get to murder him, right there. He should seriously get to murder Chris Watts. Right there, right then and there. And that is just punishment. That is how the legal system should work.
It would be the same without Shanann, Bella, and Celeste and Nico. I trusted you to take care of them, not kill them. And they also trusted you. You disgust me.
This is perhaps the most inhumane and vicious crime that I have handled out of the thousands of cases that I have seen.
Chris Watts was sentenced to 5 life terms in prison without the possibility of parole. This is only half of the Chris Watts story. Up next, there's so much more.
Couldn't I have alright.
Sorry, I lied to you. And you?
Chris killed Bella and 3-year-old Celeste. He also confessed to disposing of their bodies in horrific ways. His wife, thrown in a shallow grave, though, isn't over. In prison, Watts agreed to speak with authorities once again. However, this time, he divulged new, disturbing details of the killings.
Tell us all the love letters you get, please.
I just wish I could have let go.
Did it seem like it was that long, 2 to 4 minutes?
I felt like it was longer almost. It felt like time was standing still. Like a snap. Just something coming out.
He chose to kill Shanann by strangulation. And this shows the anger and rage that he was experiencing. I don't think he experiences any regret with Shanann.
Yeah,
That's what happened next. What she said.
Honestly, this to me just comes across like porn for fucking sick hybristophiliac women. Do we really need all the details? He lied. He murdered them. Duh. No.
What'd you tell him?
Watts explains that after killing Shanann, he loaded her body in his car, along with strapping in his girls, who just sat there with the corpse of their mother. Watts then proceeded to drive out to the dump site, where he claims he then murdered the girls.
CC was first. I put the blanket over her head. Strangled her right there in the back seat.
Okay. And then went down to Bella. Tell me what happened there.
Or she asked, it was the same thing, the exact same thing that happened to me as CC. I don't know if I just said yes like a horrible person, or if I just put that blanket over her too and did the same thing.
But before Chris killed Bella, he claims she said one last thing.
She said, "No, Daddy." Like every time I close my eyes, I just hear her say, "Daddy, no," and that was it. I hear that every day.
It's different.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of the Chris Benoit story, because he killed his wife, and then he had to kill his retarded kid because he couldn't take care of his kid anymore, and he didn't want to leave him to whoever. So I guess that was the motivation to Chris Watts had to kill his kids there, because he killed his wife for whatever reason, which is bullshit. It's terrible, but then what do? as a father, like, what do you do in that situation? Like, he just had to end it all. I mean, it's terrible, but yeah.
With the kids, he chose to smother Bella and Celeste. He is covering their faces. He doesn't see them take their last breaths.
Okay.
There was a bit of him that...
Every time I see pictures of him, I don't know how this could have happened.
Chris's account in this interview is a long way from what he originally told investigators. The question is Chris now telling the truth?
Here's the thing that I found most peculiar.
Does it matter?
He was on top of her, having this heated discussion.
She like kind of rolled over, and then I was just like right there on top of her.
Okay. And then you're talking while you're on top of her? Okay. That seems confusing to me.
You're in the midst of a breakup, and he said, this is when I told her I didn't love her. You wouldn't be straddling your wife. My guts, it was premeditated.
Making this all the more complicated, while behind bars, Watts began a correspondence with an author. In a series of letters, Watts seems to change the story once more. What seemed like an unplanned killing of his daughters now appears to be premeditated, as he writes in one note, August 12th, when I finished putting the girls to bed, I walked away and said, that's the last time I'm going to be tucking my babies in. I knew what was going to happen the day before, and I did nothing to stop it.
I don't believe that he ever intended to just kill her and have his kids afterwards, because he separated his life in two boxes. He had this new life of getting an Audi, looking for a new place with a new woman, having that sense of freedom. And once he had a taste of that, I think that was the point of no return for him.
I think that this was an impulsive act that was not premeditated. And I think that these letters are an additional...
Actually telling the truth, whatever really happened doesn't change the impact of this case, nor what it means.
Back in 2018, I was working in Colorado as a police psychologist, assisting law enforcement in their reactions after identified with and were scared of the fact that this could be their neighbor, that this seemingly normal, very big secrets, and this could be the person that lives 3 houses down from you.
Chris Watts went from a beloved father and husband to one of America's most infamous killers seemingly overnight. It's a story that is haunting and that is scary.
Yeah, okay, but like, the thing is, he did all this, and I guarantee you, like, Chris Watts has a list of women that desperately want to fuck him and love him and would gladly have babies with him, and that's all that matters because he's attractive. It doesn't, nothing matters. It's just all garbage. Yeah, that was a horrible story. Yeah. Wow, like, how do you kill your kids like that? That is, yeah. And I bet that cute little brunette girl there, she probably still wants to fuck his brains out. I wouldn't doubt if she can go to the jail facility there, she's probably fucking his brains out. Personality detectors, right, boys? Yeah. Yeah, like he says there, oh, he was a loving father and all this. Like, it was probably evident the entire time. You could see, like, how bad of a liar the guy was. Like, it was, like, obvious as fuck the entire time he's, like, standing there and pacing around. He's a lying piece of shit. But women don't care because he has a chiseled jaw and nice facial bones. That's all that matters in the end. Personality detector. And that dude has women who, like, will line up to love him, and, like, so many of us have nothing. Fuck this world.